Hey everyone, Synthetic Future here. So today's video was supposed to be a really simple video, just show you two choruses which both emulate the Juno 60 chorus. Very simple plugins, and this was supposed to be like a 5-minute short video. Little did I know that it did turn out to be a little bit more complicated than what I had expected. So let's dive into these two choruses. We have here the Tal software Tal-Chorus-LX, which is free to download VST, which has the two Juno modes, dry wet, stereo width and volume. And in the other corner we have the HornetPlugins Chorus60, which emulates the same thing with two modes, a width, and your in and output controls, plus some extra features. So this one isn't free, it is on sale right now for $3.72. The normal price is $10.90. So let's take a little listen to the sound we're working with right now. So this is my dry sound. Let's completely bypass it. This is the JDXA because I don't have a Juno. There we go. So let's start off with the Tal-Chorus turned on in mode 1. It sounds a little bit like this. Compared to the Hornet. Very similar. The Hornet might be a little bit louder because it has a lower output by default, so I had to boost it a little bit, so it might be slightly off, but still it sounds very similar. Now the second chorus mode, let's start off again with the Tal-Chorus. It's very nice, rich chorus sound. And the Hornet chorus. Very similar, I would say pretty much identical. So far there isn't a whole lot of interesting going on, and that changed as soon as I started to look into the third mode. So on the Juno you can activate the chorus 1 and 2, which will put it in sort of what most people call a tremolo mode, because it only has one chorus module, so it can't do two chorus sounds at the same time. So on the Hornet this sounds a little bit like this. As one would expect from a tremolo mode, it is very vibraty, a little bit thin maybe, but that's the sound that I was expecting. And then I turned on the Tal with both buttons. That's a very different sound. Let's hear that side by side. So here we go with the Tal. Hornet. Tal. Hornet. The low note on the Tal. The low note on the So what is going on here? I at first didn't quite understand what was going on, so I contacted the developer from Hornet to ask him what he was thinking about this difference, and he said, to me it sounds like the Tal-Chorus has two choruses in series when you activate both buttons. So, well, that's easy enough to check. You just get the second Tal, turn it on, and you throw on that second chorus on your second Tal. And that's pretty much exactly what's going on with the Tal module, where the Hornet does emulate this third mode. And we can actually recreate the Tal sound with the Hornet as well by just adding a second Hornet. Moving this one in 2, this one in 1. You get a very similar sound. So at this point I contacted the guys from Tal, wondering if this was an intended feature, or maybe it was a bug, or maybe the third mode was just missing. And they came back to me saying that it was indeed the way it was intended. They combine chorus 1 and 2 when both are activated instead of going for the tremolo mode, because they find the tremolo mode less useful than this sort of super chorus-like sound. So they never modeled in the third chorus mode, and they always left it with just 1, 2 and 1 and 2 in series. Whereas the Hornet does include this mode. So I asked the guys from Hornet whether or not they would be interested in doing something like that, and he did came back to me saying that it might be an interesting feature, but for now I can neither confirm or deny that it will be implemented in the Hornet version of the plugin, because it isn't an original Juno sound. So in a sense it wouldn't make sense. On the other hand, it is a pretty cool sound. Sound very, very mean indeed. So the Hornet has a few more tricks up its sleeve. As you can see, let me just dismiss the duplicates and let's focus on one Hornet at a time. With the Hornet you can adjust the rate of your 1 and your 2. And your combined can go even higher. This one goes from 0.0, 1 all the way to 2 Hz, and your type 3 goes from 1 Hz all the way to 20 Hz. Default is 8 Hz, so let's hear that one. And you can also turn off the saturation and hiss. To clean up the sound a little bit. So that's the Hornet versus Tal comparison. Now I would say that they are very, very similar indeed. They both model this Juno style chorus very well. Of course the Hornet does include the third mode, which the Tal doesn't. Downside of the Hornet of course being it's a paid plugin versus the free Tal plugin. And it's always hard to compete with a free plugin because it's free, which pretty much means it is limitless value, because you can't divide 0 by any value. So if you were to have to decide between these two plugins. If you're looking for a chorus plugin that does this type of Juno 60 chorus effect, especially at the discounted price, I would say pick up the Hornet version, because it is of course more accurate due to having deferred mode, and also it does give you a little bit more control with your rates and with the saturation and hiss to make it a little bit less vintage sounding if you want to use it on a newer production or a cleaner production. So there we go, that's my comparison of the Hornet versus the Tal plugin. Let me just, as a final demo, play these back to back and cut between them to see if we can actually hear the differences between them. So here we go, we put it into record. So you always have those little micro jumps, because this is a time-based effect, and the LFOs of both choruses might be slightly off phase of each other, so that's where you get little jumps in the sound. But aside from that, in the straights it does sound very, very much similar. So that's my comparison for the Tal-Chorus versus the Hornet chorus. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a nice day.